Hey guys, my name's Kyle Weiger. I'm one of the coaches here at Club Cal. Behind me is Jody, and today we're going to walk you through a very beginner handstand video. I know that a lot of people approach handstand and get kind of intimidated because they don't understand the anatomy or the mechanics behind it. So the purpose of today's video is to get you comfortable with putting your hands on the ground, getting your feet in the air to whatever degree you can. So without further ado, me and my new friend Jody here are going to get started. Let's get started in tabletop, please. Awesome. So you can sit butt to heels, hands off the ground. Just to get started, the first thing that has to happen in a handstand is you have to put your hands somewhere. It's a handstand. I get that question a lot. It's, oh, is it all core? No, it's a handstand. So let's get really focused and deliberate on hand placement. Now, once you hit your final product of a handstand, it should be a straight line of stacking your joints all the way from this joint, your distal, medial, proximal phalangeal joints, and then this one's called your radioscaphoidal joint, super important, all the way up to the humeral head, and then all the way down the body. So the first part is learning how to put your hands on the ground effectively, and then repeat that until you have laid down enough myelin over that particular movement circuit for it to become normal. So I will have Jody put her hands down, and we're going to analyze a few things here. So let's go kind of bad grip, like real tight. So we don't have a lot of surface area here. What we'd rather have is a nice, decent spread where you can see the color of the floor in between each digit. And then let's go way too wide, like we're stressing out the hand a lot. So your fingers don't have a lot of muscle in them. It's mostly ligaments and tendons. So we want to find a nice, easy, comfortable position, and then we're going to pull the thumbs in just a little bit. Now, one way you can do this, I've seen this done in gyms, you get chalk up your hands, make some handprints, and you give yourself a little target. I have even had students at home in their little workout area draw with a Sharpie marker around where their hands go. So I want Jody to look at your hands, where they are now, and then we're going to do this one together. Come on off, take the hands off, memorize right where they were, and put them in the exact same spot for 10, 9, 8, add a little speed here, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your hands on the ground. So why is that useful? Well, if you're going to be doing a lot of handstand reps, putting your hands on the ground is the most important piece to get started with, so we want to make sure we have that dialed in. Go ahead and rock your chest past your arms. I'll give you some space here, and then we'll sit back, and we're going to start to hold. Chest past the arms, shoulders in slightly planche position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on back. 2 more. Lean forward. Farther for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, here we go. Lean in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, fingers face each other. So we're gonna do what's called ridge walks. This part of your hand is known as your metacarpal ridge. It's where all the fingers meet. And so we're gonna rock left and right and then lift up the opposite hand for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to turn the fingers to the outside and rock over, lift the opposite hand. This one's not quite as taxing on the metacarpal ridge, but it's more focused on the wrist of the hand that you're leaning to. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to come into inside out dorsiflexion. This one. So your insides of your wrists are facing forward, and you're going to lean your butt back towards your heels as much as you can. You're going to have your own natural stopping point known as your ulnar collateral ligament. I actually broke mine when I was 16, so my left arm is slightly shaped differently than my right. What Jody has here is what's referred to as relative hyperextension. A lot of people have used the hyperextension term in gymnastics. So that's just the shape of her elbow. Hyperextension actually means that you moved a joint past its normal range of motion through force or injury. But that means like you broke your arm, right? But people say, oh, my hyperextended my arm. I was like, ah, that sounds painful, right? All righty. We're going to come into the least favorite of most people when they first start handstanding, but the absolute favorite of all handstanders once they get a practice is palmar flexion. So everything we do in a handstand is dorsiflexion, right? So palmar flexion, we work the little muscles on the back side of the wrist. Try to connect all 10 of your fingernails to the mat or to whatever surface you're on. This one is just a simple lever. It can get less heavy if you bring your knees in and you can sit down like that and you can kind of like self-manage the amount of weight you put in, or it can get more heavy if you start to walk your legs back, and then over a long enough period of time and practice, you could come into full planks in palmar flexion. They're not the most pleasant thing, but they do work very effectively. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on down. Now roll joint by joint by joint right here. Awesome. Hands together, elbows together, forearms together. So just some quick and easy movement. Now that we've done all of the stretching, all the feel-good stuff, and I'm gonna ask you to pause, use a little brain power here. So whatever thumb is on top, so you naturally grip a certain way, it's your dominant grip, I'm gonna ask you to switch the grip. Nailed it, there we go. And then switch the direction of the figure 8. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, shake it out. Last little thing here, well, we got 2 more. We have wrist articulation, and then we're gonna hit the ulnar side of the forearm. So this one, a lot of people like to do this one fast and like the wave. Not the idea here, right? What we're going for is every joint along the chain of command in the hand, so nice and slow. Give it a good squeeze. Ooh, hello. And then we're gonna send it back this way. Nice. Yeah, it takes a little coordination to send it the other way. All right, handstander, here we go. Take your left hand, and one of the very few times I'll ever ask you in a handstand to go into internal rotation, but it's just for the warm-up, we're gonna internally rotate so that we can externally rotate. We're gonna place our hand on the ground, take your other hand on top, and then what I want you to do is start to, it's not gonna be a lot of movement, but you're gonna energetically feel this as you start to rotate the arm outward. You're gonna feel this on the outside or the ulnar side. Just think of the pinky side of your forearm. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come on out. Opposite direction, please. Okay. Opposite hand on top, and if you can help it, let's start to turn to the outside. There we go. Damn, you got some good rotation. You're good. Jody's a total boss, by the way. She's better than me. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on out. Shake it out. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to come into hips over knees, tabletop, and then just crawl your body forward. We're going to come into a relaxed kind of passive shoulder flexion. So we'll go flat hand to start. Now, if you want to get deeper into this, you could throw some blocks underneath here. If you're not working with much equipment at home, there's a really easy way to do this, and you just tent up onto your fingers like so. So now she's this much higher, and then that gives her that much more space to go down. And we're working active shoulder opening. You'll hear me talk a lot about an open shoulder versus a closed shoulder in a handstand, and why it really affects the overall shape. What we want to do over a long enough timeline is be able to get our arm perfectly in line with the back via the shoulder so that you can have a nice clean stacked handstand that works on stacking bones rather than using muscle. Bones don't fatigue, muscles do quite quickly. So I'd rather use the smart parts of my body for a handstand. All right, you ready for some hollows? Here we go. So I'm gonna come on to fingertips with you. We're gonna sink down and then hollow body. 3, 2, 1, relax. Hollow body. 3, 2, 1. Relax. We got 5. Here we go. Third one, hold. Release. Number 4, hold. Release. And last one, we're going to hold for 10. Hollow body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, come on out. She's so strong. Okay, guys, so we're going to bring a little bit of movement into the shoulder joint by taking it through a pretty decent range of motion. Arms are going to go ahead of you. You're going to swim them out to the side, and they're going to connect behind you. We're going to do all of this on your stomach so that you have to manually lift your arm using the shoulder muscles. So, Miss Jody, please crawl it forward, arms out, lift them up, and then swim kind of like the breaststroke, right? Touch your hands behind your back, but don't touch your back. Here we go. 1. And back to front is 1 full cycle, 1 full repetition, right? So there's 2. We have a set of 5. 3. Let's go. 4. And 5. Hold this one for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Send your hands forward again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, put them on the ground. Now, what I'm about to do is apply a little bit of pressure to the top of her hand. You don't need a partner for this one. If you have ankle weights or anything heavy that you want to set on the top of your hand, the idea is that we're going to activate this by lifting up. This is called active shoulder opening because we're using the muscle, not gravity. Let's go. Lift it up. Now, that's hard enough to hold on its own, but when I start to do this, oh yeah. And I'm barely applying any pressure here. I have such a mechanical advantage from the angle, right? So the idea, if you're doing this with a partner, I'm not trying to like shove her hands to the ground. I'm just trying to warm up the shoulders. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, man. Yeah, right? All right, let's do a little ballistic shoulder opening, just some swimmer claps. Super easy. Yeah, so right over left, left over right. I like these ones. I do believe in static stretching. I do believe in active range of motion conditioning. And I do also believe in ballistic. Just moving your body sometimes just opens it up, right? Feels good. And actually, since we're on that topic, let's do German swings. So come on up, stand please. This is how this one's gonna work. We're gonna go one arm to armpit. Hope you wore deodorant today. Did you? Mm-hmm. I did too, just for you. All right? And then we're gonna swing to the other side, slow at first, and then just kind of let it fly. Yeah, again, ballistic stretching, just opening up the shoulders. We've already done a few exercises, so there should be plenty of blood flow in there. We want our shoulders turned on for a handstand, right? It's how you get them awake so they can support your body when you're upside down. Last 3, 2, and 1. All right, have a seat again. So we're working our way. I believe that handstand is a chain of command, right? It starts here, goes all the way up the chain, and then it has to go down the chain. So the next part's gonna be the neck. What I'll ask you to do, Miss Jody, is take your right hand out like so. Turn it, go behind your back, and then grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull to the left. Pull to the towards me. Perfect. And now you're going to lean your left ear towards your left shoulder. There, we gotta think about, so can you feel that on the outside of the neck, right? So it's your, what are those? Your scalenes and your SCM, sternocleidomastoid, one of my favorite muscles to say. I'm sure there's some chiropractor out there just shaking their head at my use of anatomical terms right now. My apologies, chiropractor. And come on up. Okay, release. Left hand out to the left, internal. Pull it to the back, and then now you have like this whole chicken wing thing on the right hand side. Right ear to right shoulder, please and thank you. Okay. The neck. So much tension. Always. Always. This is a good one. It's 2020. That's just our condition now. Last 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to work our way down. Seated straddle, please. Legs out to whatever degree you can. And I'll join you for this one. Yeah. You got a much bigger straddle than mine, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a gymnast. There you go. So let's take a look at some basic differences here, right? So mine is not nearly as wide as her, and she's got the nice pretty toe point, right? So wherever you're at with your straddle, just know that you got to start somewhere. When I first started gymnastics, I was about like here, and that was kind of my game. Now I'm a little bit better, not nearly where Miss Jody is, but we're just going to pulse it out a little bit towards the middle. So these are not big, powerful pulses. These are slow and controlled with good reason. We're trying to tell our nervous system, hey, we're safe. This is fine. Everything's fine. I think when people start to hold their breath or panic in stretches or in handstand, that's usually when they fall out of it or they stop getting the benefit of it, right? Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. And then we're going to sweep, by the way, we're going to start to sweep over to the left and to the right. So you go to your left, I'll go to my left. Here we go. 1, sweep to the right, stay low. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, back to the middle, hold. I feel like we should have like a rope and we can like pull on each other, right? All right, so I want you to curl your spine up. So you're gonna posterior pelvic tilt, come on up and then straight spine. Let's come legs together. We're gonna stretch the hip flexors a little bit because these will be handy for our tuck. So what I want you to do, Miss Jody, is come and do a low lunge if you can, please. So 90-90 in the knees. What we're going for is the stretch from quad, where it meets hip flexor, up into the psoas. So how we're gonna do that is bring the knee forward, boom. Now, let's go bad gymnast and slouch through the spine. So if you're doing this, nothing's happening, right? What we want to do is to start to bring the body up. Yeah, so your sternum's like running up and away from your hips. And then I'm gonna give her a little, yeah, there we go. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, so I usually like to hold for anywhere between 30 seconds and a minute when I'm stretching out my hip flexor, and then stretch it, and then we'll activate it as well through some hollow scissor drills, which I'm sure she's really looking forward to. Yeah. All right, come on out, please, and let's switch the legs. Yeah, so opposite leg forward, you start at 90-90, and then you at home, I want you just kind of to sync to whatever works for you, right? Everyone enters this practice at a different age, at a different stage in their physicality. So if you can do any or all of these drills, I want you at the end of practice, of course, to just give yourself a pat on the back for even trying, because gymnastics and calisthenics, it's a tough practice, right? And it takes time to develop. So I'm stoked that you're here with us watching this beginner video for sure. Alrighty, come on out. Let's go seated forward fold. We'll hit the hamstrings here real quick. So,
Pike.
Yeah, Pike. Sorry, the yoga teacher in me accidentally just came out from years ago. All right, now I'm going to give her a little assist on the back here. For anyone that has an assistant, if you're playing with like a partner at home, I'm not pushing down here, I'm pushing forward here, if that makes sense. So even if you don't have a partner, this is where the movement should be coming from. The chest should be going towards the feet. A lot of people tend to round in the spine because, yeah, they get that visual of like their head touching their knee, and they think by craning their neck it's going to do them a favor, but unfortunately it does not. No way around it but through it. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and sit on up. Cool. So we got wrists, shoulders, neck, did some straddle. I think it's time for some hollow stuff. Okay, so let's talk about hollow body positions 1, 2, and 3. Hollow body 1 would be the easiest, 2 would be the medium, and then 3 would be the full extension. So come into hollow, which is this shape. Okay, we're gonna keep the bent knees here, and we're gonna curl the tailbone up, and then curl the shoulders up, hands by your side like so. Awesome. So hollow 1, it's a shorter lever because we're compressed. Hollow number 2, we're gonna straighten the legs, leave the arms where they are. Oh, she's good. Got a pro here, folks. And then hollow 3, up and over. So when I say hollow, we're always going to go for full hollow. If you need to modify for hollows 1 or 2, I want you to be your own best coach here at home. Yeah, let's do them again. There's 1, there's 2, and then hollow 3. So hollow 3 will always be our starting position, and I'll just keep talking until Jody gets really tired. Just kidding. Okay, so that's going to be our starting position. We're going to wake up the hip flexors through hollow scissor, tuck, and straddle, the 3 entries we're going to be working on today, but we're going to do them from a position that's a little more agreeable with gravity, which is the ground. So hollow body full. Okay, now she's going to lift one leg and reach both hands up for it. Go up, boom, down, opposite leg, up, 2. Yeah, you're good. 3, oh, she's a pro. Come on, 4, just 96 more. Just kidding. 5, 6, 7, 8, nice Jody, last 2, 9, and 10. All right, you want to take a quick breather? Yeah, you get to rest. Those are fun, right? Yeah, those are good. The hollow body gets you in shape real quick. One of the least enjoyable when you first start, but then after you realize how important they are when you get upside down, and it's like practicing that drill is what is going to save you from falling a lot of times because your mid body is so tight. Okay, now we have one that I think is actually easier than the scissor, hollow tuck. You're going to come into hollow, full hollow, and then just tuck and compress. 1, 2, awesome. She's a pro. 3, so knees to chest, pointed toes. 4, halfway home, that's 5. You guys at home, hope you're enjoying this. 6, 7, come on. 8, 9, and 10. Earned a little breather. You go ahead and rest. I actually have the easy job. This is pretty.
I haven't been core in a while.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I haven't either, but I feel like I'm getting in shape right now. Okay, so the last one is gonna be the tricky one, hollow straddle. So we're gonna bring up 2 straight legs, but we're going to split the legs as you come up, and you're gonna reach for the mat in between you. You've done this one a million times, I'm sure. I'll leave you to 10 on your own. There it is. 1. Oh, look at the face. She's making the I'm working really hard face. I make that face. What was that, 10? But yeah, by my count, that was definitely 3. 5, you got this. Come on, come on. Getting warm.
Oh my gosh.
One more. One more. Finish out strong. All right, she earned some rest. Well done. All right, so there's a reason that, like, at least for my practices and the way I kind of think about handstand, it's a system. It's not a mystery. A lot of people put handstand on this pedestal, like, why, what's the secret? Having a system is the secret, and doing your system repeatedly over and over. While she's resting, we'll talk about why it's important to do the same things a lot of times, because every time you perform a motor skill, your brain fires an electrical signal to the muscles responsible for that motor skill, and that electrical signal has to pass through a bundle of nerve fibers known as neurons that talk to the muscle. So every time you do that, a layer of myelin, this kind of fatty substance, gets laid down over the nerve fibers, and it allows the electrical signal to fire faster and more efficiently the next time you do it. Good example, Michael Jordan jump shot. The guy shot a basketball so many times, it looks like poetry in motion every single time, right? Because he just does the same motion every time. So why do we do this? Because we want to myelinate your body's and brain's ability to do a memorized pattern or behavior. So that's why we always start this. We work our core, and then we're going to work on building the foundations of handstand. So are you rested up? You feel good? I hope you guys are at home with that nerd level 5,000 little diatribe. We're going to go into snap tucks. This is going to be the precursor of us getting upside down. So we're going to start on our knees, like so. Shins tucked underneath you. So the idea is we're going to take this move of putting our hands on the ground and add a little bit of height to it. So now it's becoming one motion. So the snap tucks can happen here at kind of the small to medium height, or all the way up, toes tucked, head tucked through. So the idea is that you're coordinating both of these movements at the same time, and we're gonna have a set of 10. My good friend Jody here is going to do a few small, a few medium, and then we'll finish out with the full, okay? So hands off. Here we go. Rep number 1, small, just lift. Awesome. Start to rep it out, pace it out. 2, let's get a little higher. 3, awesome. 4, lift it up. 5, let's go full for the last one. Oh, look at her go. All right. 6, head tuck position. 3rd, all the way, nice. 3 more. Awesome. 2 more. And last one, we're gonna hold for a 10 count. Here we go. Find the position, hips up, straight body, head through, straight legs. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Excellent job. Okay, so learning how to move into a handstand is going to be step number 1. I kind of break out after the warm-up's done. By the way, did you feel that? Like that particular move? That's like one of my go-to warm-ups because it's just like everything. It's everything you need for a handstand. So after I get my body warm, we got to think about doing some movement, shape, strength, and then kind of how to balance, right? The movement piece is the most important. You want to be able to move fluidly so that when you kick up into your handstand, it's like parking a car in a garage. Just shoo. I always think about, how do you park a car in a garage? 80 miles an hour and slam on the brakes? No. But that's how a lot of people kick into handstand, as they just want to get up so fast and they have no control once they get there. So mastering the small movements first is super important. I can't remember who's responsible for the phrase, but it's how I believe in practicing. Anyone who can do an advanced skill is brilliant at the basics. So what I'm going to ask you to do in this video, since it's the beginner video, is be brilliant at the basics. And by basics, I mean just putting your hands on the ground and lifting a leg up and coming right back down with as little physical or auditory noise as possible. So you lift up and come right back down. I'll show what it looks like to start. And then we'll have our beautiful model Jody show me how it's really done. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands, remember this whole thing? This is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is the reason we practice putting our hands on the ground. So I'm going to lift and to set it down. Now, if you're here today, that's totally fine too. If I want you to think about the full line of handstand, if that is a 100% of effort, and that's like the 100% goal. What does 10% or 20% or like a 50% of a handstand looks like? And then you can practice moving well. What I don't want to see is kicking up for height, because we think that's somehow like a better, and then coming down to the ground hard. Because if we lose control of the handstand, then you're not really practicing much. You're practicing a bad kick up. Oh, and by the way, our friend Mylan, the whole like nervous system thing, it doesn't care if you are performing a skill correctly or incorrectly. It only myelinates whatever you do most frequently. So technically you can get good at doing something bad. So we don't want to practice something bad, right? So Miss Jody, can we have a set of 10? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move this guy out of the way. All right, 10 of them on Jody. Here we go. You're going to lift and then just come right back down, easy breezy. 1, 2, and can I have you pull your hands off of the ground and actually stand up and reset, right? And then right back down. So it's each handstand is its own like event in space-time, right? So each rep has a purpose. 1, that's 3, excuse me. You did those first 2. 4, awesome. Lift up, nice. 5, so she's just barely lifting up and barely setting down. 6, come on. 7, 8, 9, oh. These will challenge you cardiovascularly as well. Ooh, there it is, nice, come on. Oh, she's just showing off now. No apologies necessary. Yeah, right, once you find that balance. So she can handstand really well, and you notice like she had a certain fluidity to her movements. And that is just comes from practice over and over, and it comes from the intention of being smooth. I see way too many students out there doing what I lovingly refer to as the kick and pray method. It's where you basically just chuck your body at the floor, kick your legs up as high as you can, and pray to God that this is the magic rep where you nail your perfect handstand. I've never seen anyone get that. Like, I've never seen anyone not practice good form and then somehow magically stick it. The inverse to that is also true on a more positive note. I've never seen anyone train really good form and eventually not get their handstand, right? So we're gonna go 2 more sets of 10 of those, okay? And then we're gonna talk about a few other things, but let's get focused on, we can go like small, medium, large here. So first set, for those of you at home, if you were just doing like up maybe 10, see if you can go to 20%. And by the way, it's just a metaphor. It's not an exact science, like I'm not measuring this. I always think of it kind of like the 3 bears, and you get to be Goldilocks in this awful metaphor. But you want to find that kick that's just right? Not too hard, not too hot, not too cold, right. The porridge, right? Okay, so here we go, set of 10 for you. That's enough rest. Stand on up, and here we go. I'm not going to count them, you're just on your own. You guys at home, be moving on your own. See if you, yeah, you can kick, yeah, a little more if you want. Just, for you guys at home, just be like Jody. That's all I ask. Just be like Jody. How many? Yeah, that 5? Yeah, rough estimate. Excellent. Ooh. Oh, she caught it. I thought you were going over. That's training right there. Awesome. Last one.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, come on down. Take a little rest. One thing I like to do, by the way, is I'm constantly working my hands and shoulders. So let's come into palmar flexion. I get it that you warm up in the beginning. I'm constantly stretching my wrists all the time. If you don't like the floor, by the way, there's another sort of more manual option. So you could take your left hand down, put your right hand on top of it, and then apply just a little bit of pressure as you lift. The third option is the funny looking one, chicken wing. Put your hands in like this, right? Stretches the shoulders. And then if you have a friend, they can actually pull on your elbows and give you a little extra. Don't pull too hard though. You don't want to be hurting anybody. All right, last set, please. Bam. Sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you like that. I was like, let's go. 1. So you notice we're not going into full handstand. This is just the movement. We're just getting up and coming right back down. So she's even got a little bit of a float. If you're not to the point where you're like totally floating off the ground smooth like her, that's totally fine, right? You'll get there someday.
Don't forget to breathe.
What's that?
Don't forget to breathe.
Oh yeah, breathe. I highly recommend breathing both during and after gymnastics practice as well. Pretty good skill you can take with you just about anywhere. All right, Come on down. So let's talk about the breath while we're on our rest. That was 3 sets of 10, right? Ish. Okay, so the breath. When we get upside down, people get a little crossed up on what they should be doing. Being oxygenated is important, but keeping your diaphragm still is even more important. So it's not like, you're not like big, choppy breaths. I try to keep mine like just calm. That way I'm sending the message to my nervous system like, hey, we're fine. This is nothing, this is no big deal, we're safe, this is easy. I like to be in that mindset of being like grounded and a little more centered versus like breathing as though I'm being chased or like I'm in some kind of panic mode, right? So, okay, well that's enough about the breath. Let's talk about tuck. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love tuck because I feel like I get to use both of my legs to get into a nice clean position. Where people get a little sideways with tuck is they don't fully get their hips over their hands, and of course your center of mass, sacral 2, S2, will just bring you right back down because your butt and your legs are heaviest parts of your body, right? So let's demo from the side here. Can you show me, face me, and then show me what it's like to not kick up enough? Just this like that quick hop, right? You see this one a lot? Boom, yeah.
You want me to go higher?
Or you can curl the toes under, yeah, and then put your butt in the air. Yeah, so this would be your starting position. And so if she just gives like a little baby jump off the ground, you're not really gonna get very far, right? The idea there, you see this one a ton, right? And if you're there, that's totally fine, but just know we're eventually gonna need to get a little higher, boom. So that's the tuck position. How do we practice this? Well, we take the same approach to say, we don't have to go to full handstand. We can just practice 10, 20, 30%. So we're gonna do 2 sets of 10 here, and on each set, if I could ask you to start low, and by the 10th rep, get a little bit higher and balance it for a second so they can see what a progression to this looks like. Mm-hmm. Cool.
And keep toes like this the whole time?
Yeah, I come from a fairly strict teacher that teaches hand balancing more like a martial art. And yeah, everything is like you have like a process, right? Okay. And you always keep your toes there, and then each rep starts over, okay? So here we go.
So leave it?
Yeah, 1, a little maybe higher. Yeah, perfect. Let's go at your own pace here. So she's gonna keep increasing height a little bit over time. And you guys at home can pick to follow along and sort of mimic whatever height Jody's going to here that works for your body. Jump up. Ooh, there she can stack it. Come on down. She's so good. Boop. Awesome.
More?
Yep, 1 more, perfect. So she's just working the tuck in the hold. It's nothing fancy. If you can't get your hips up, there are plenty of options here. You could start your feet on an elevated surface, so you would give a little bit of depth. You can increase or decrease deficit between the feet and hands, depending if you want to make it harder or easier on yourself. If you start your feet above your hands, it's easier than a normal handstand. If you start your feet below your hands, it's harder than a normal handstand. For example, the obligatory Instagram press handstand out of a pool. You're actually pressing, from deeper, right? So I want to give you guys a drill just in case you are doing this with, a partner or you have someone you like to train with. How do you calibrate where to stop the hips in a tuck handstand? This one's tricky because you can't see them because your hips are over there and you're usually looking at the ground, not breathing with a giant red face full of like veins, right? So there's an easy way to use another person to tell you where to go. How this works is if I want my center of mass to be over the pivot point or fulcrum of my lever, which is basically one of the definitions of balance. You get the center mass over the pivot point. It would be the same if you had 2 equal weighted people sitting on a teeter-totter. They don't move until one of them applies force, right? So that's a balanced thing. We want to create that same kind of thing, but in a handstand. So when her hands go down, put them down, please. My job is I'm going to go here and here, and I'm going to draw a straight line up, okay? Now when she tucks, and go ahead and tuck up, my hands are directly over her wrists. So basically when her sacrum touches my hands, that is me, awesome, come on down. That is me signaling to her that, hey, stop right there, that's your handstand. Hey, stop right there. If I go too far away, she has to overkick to get to me, and if I go too soon, she doesn't actually get to the full position of the hips and might actually find herself untucking like too early because of that. So make sure that you're just aligned over them. That is if you have a partner at home. If not, we're gonna go into our second set of tucks. So we're not going for full handstand. We're just going to go through the movement of tuck. So second set of 10, please and thank you. Ooh, no, that's good. You're good.
Too high.
Yeah, too high. You're fine. Just demoing a few different options here. Nice. 5 or 4, something like that. Here we go. All right.
Higher?
Yeah, go for it. I can hear her breathing. It's good. Breathing hard. A lot of these will get the heart rate up. That's why we rest in between, right? We always want to do quality. Last one, I think. Maybe? Yep. Oh, got it. I was about to poke you. There we go. All right, come on down. So let's talk about that for a hot second. If you're new to handstanding, even if you're not new to handstanding, quality trumps quantity all the time. If you're going for straight conditioning, that's different, right? So if you're going for to fatigue a muscle or for a calorie burn for a different purpose, absolutely, you can knock out a lot of quantity of reps for that. If you're going for skill acquisition and skill training, I would highly recommend focusing on quality of rep and then getting enough rest period in between. So that said, we're going to move on to baby straddle. This one is fairly straightforward. We're going to, actually I'm going to have you come over here if you don't mind so we can face the camera. It's going to be legs start together like this. We're going to jump and then land them right back where they started. The idea is once you start installing your handstand practice, you would always start and stop with feet together, and you always enter and exit the handstand the same way. So if you scissor up, scissor down, tuck to tuck, and straddle to straddle. So does this one make sense?
Like on my feet?
Yeah, so you're going to put hands down, okay? And then you are going to jump out. Feet will, ooh, there we go. You almost kicked me. Do you want to? I will fight you in the middle of this video. All right, here we go. That's 2. Yeah, so we're just working a real simple, easy motion here. 3.
Not very quiet.
Yeah, land soft. Land soft. Here we go. 4. Well, I'm like counting every other rep. Yeah, 6. 1. So this is the beginning of a straddle handstand, right? We're just kicking out and then landing in a very smooth fashion right where we started. Her foot is getting alarmingly close to my face. Like I'm about to catch one in the tooth.
That was 10.
Yeah, that was 10? Okay, so we'll have one more set. Back to wrist, please. So if you're new to handstand, it also does not take a long time to get fatigued. It doesn't take a long time for your wrist to start talking to you.
Even if you've been doing it.
Right. Yeah, even if you've been doing them your whole life. In my particular practice, I have like an hour of warm-up, and then it's about another 2 hours of conditioning stuff. And by the end of it, I'm toast. I'm like, I can't even move, right? All right, so we're gonna go inside-out dorsiflexion, always a good one to include. All right. All right, Miss Jody, you got one more set in you?
Are we ever going up?
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, this video is definitely made for beginners to get you used to it, and then.
Straddle, though. Do you want me to go to?
Oh yeah, here. So yeah, let's very good idea. Much like the other drills, the scissor and the tuck. Let's add a little bit of height, somewhere between 10% and like 50%, and then see if you can hover down. For those of you at home watching this, fight for the hover, because the same muscles that keep you up. Or the same muscles that prevent you from coming down are the ones that are going to help you get up. So if you strengthen those, every time you exit a handstand, you have an opportunity to practice that rep twice, the up and the down. Okay? So here we go. We're going to go up, add some height. I'm going to give myself plenty of good social distance from Jody so she doesn't kick me in the face. Ooh, look at that. That's a little too much, so you got to calibrate, all right? Boom, so a little higher. There we go, that was perfect. So on the first set, we saw what I would say like 10%, and there we're going to like 30, 40%, about halfway up to the handstand. Oh, come on down, that's good. Look at those pretty toes. Down, yeah, just working the progression, super simple. That was good. I feel like you got this. I feel like this is a good set. I feel like this is one you can put in the books, you know, one you can hang your hat on. All right, come on down.
That was
9, well, finish, obviously. Boss. All right, come on down. If you're breathing hard like Jody, let's take a little rest. If you feel like you leave and your legs basically go and come right back down, it's good to notice that. What I'll highly recommend, I do this for all my students, video yourself. Video yourself and take a look at what it looks like, because it never looks the way that it feels. So video is a really good teacher for you to say, oh wow, I need to extend my legs, or man, I'm really not getting my hips over in my tuck, or man, I really need to kick more with my top leg in my straddle. Video is also kind of the great equalizer. It doesn't lie, right? I used to not time my endurance holds for handstand, and I would like take a video and I would just be staring at the ground and think, oh man, that's easily like 2 minutes. And then I'd go get the video, I'm like, oh, 12 seconds, great, that's awesome, right? So I highly recommend keeping yourself honest through the use of technology that we have available to us today. All right, how are you feeling?
Good.
You good? Está bien? That's Spanish. I'm classy, it's fine. Okay, so we are gonna kick up into some handstands here. And so for those of you at home that are like, hey, man, I'm not quite there yet, I still want you to watch this to see where you're going. The idea is that we're going to get into a straight line handstand. Hands go on the ground. We're gonna move into our shape, which is the hollow that we started with. And we're gonna do the hollow L, and then bring the leg up. And then we're gonna work on tuck, and we're gonna work on straddle. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Can I have you put your hands here and face over towards me? Now I'm gonna spot her, not that she necessarily needs it, but I'm gonna keep her in place just to point a few things. So L to start, please. Pause. So look familiar, hollow body, L with the legs, and then she goes all the way up to handstand, and I'm gonna hold her there for 3, 2, 1. Scissor down, one leg at a time, and awesome exit. Stand on up. So let's talk about that. Remember the whole myelin thing? We're installing different parts of this practice into your body. When you're in hollow and you reach up for the L, it's gonna be the same position when you're upside down, and we want your body to be familiar with it, so we practice it on the ground. And you notice she has a super flat back. Can we demo the classic banana back? Yeah, so just gonna, I don't even know if she can do this. Like, she can't really do it poorly. Give me more. Look forward, look really far forward. Okay, so here's the handstand we see way too often. Now press through the traps, pull this in, there. See the fix? Let's go just over exaggerate it again. There, oh, gross. Press up, okay? And then come on down one leg at a time. Thank you. So if you feel like you got the banana back thing going on, it's usually a result of 3 to 4 things. Number 1, vision. Where are you looking? If your neck is craning out, that's gonna take your upper chest with it, and then before you know it, you have the bow. If your shoulder is closed versus open, right? Because if my shoulder's closed, something has to correct, and then it becomes what's called your thoracolumbar junction, where your thorax meets your low spine. And so what happens is anterior pelvic tilt happens, and you actually end up making a Z shape with your body when we'd rather just have that I shape. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on that. We're gonna go a set of 5. I want you to scissor up to handstand. We're gonna hold for 3, 2, 1, and come on down. Stand up, take your hands off the ground, and repeat.
Okay. You want me to hold the L or no?
No, we're just gonna move as smoothly into handstand as we can.
With hands planted?
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Come on down, stand up, take your hands off. Okay, next. 1, 2, 3. That's 2. Here we go. 1. Oh, she's smooth. 2, 3. You see that parking the car in the garage feel, right? It's just, she knows where to stop. Again, we have 2 more, yes? I can see you fighting like the inner gymnast in you with the way you prep. Come on down. Yep. All right, one more. Easy breezy. All right, quads on. Now she's super tough, so I'm gonna give her a little tightness test and just see how tough she is. Damn. Go. Get out of here. Oh, she's good. Okay, so do I expect you to be able to do that on the first beginner video? Absolutely not. But it is important to see where you can get to if you do the foundations correctly. You put your hands on the ground in a meaningful and intentional way. You work your hollows, your long bodies, you work the baby movements, and eventually it all builds up and translates. I've never seen anyone, and I've been coaching this handstand game for a while now, I've never seen anyone get to that level on accident. It just doesn't happen, right? So what we're gonna do now is the tuck. For those of you that are ready, and you want to try tucking up into handstand, I want to warn you that your brain doesn't quite know what 12 o'clock is yet. Okay, it comes with time. So what happens is what I call the premature untuck, where they go and then they curl their legs, like their body ends up doing this. They think they're curling up straight, but then they actually uncurl, and then once again, your legs super heavy. So if you take them in the wrong direction, you're just gonna come crashing right back down. Can you show me that?
Sure, jumping in from.
Yeah, tuck and then uncurl a little too early to where your legs go behind you. So she's gonna uncurl. See, it would do that. Now she could probably actually hold that, but a lot of times people miss it and then they fall. So the idea is, I always like to think of my favorite cue in all of hand balancing: get taller. You can get taller from the wrist, you can get taller from the trap, get taller from the toes. I like to think about my toes here in tuck, so I go up, and then it's like my toes are trying to get as tall as they can to make that nice, clean line. Anything else for the tuck? No, I mean, just press through the traps, get your butt over, and you have to come into a slight back bend a little bit in the tuck because your femurs are long, and so they go horizontal versus vertical. So when they do go horizontal, this happens versus this. So if you find that you have that feeling of like a back bend, that's natural because you have to go past for just a second in order to get vertical. Okay? So tuck, please, hands down, easy breezy. And I will spot, not that she needs it. Up, okay, now we go straight up. And you see the correction in the hips here, and actually, for our friends at home, I want you to tuck back down right to where you were, so you see this. This happens because her femur is parallel with the ground versus perpendicular to it. Now up again we go, whoop. All right, and then I will let her tuck down at her own pace. There we go. Thank you, Jody. All right, 4 more. That's it, that's all. Just. Oh, whoa.
Do you want it to be fast?
What? I like that.
You hold the tuck.
I don't want it to be fast. I want it to be smooth.
Okay.
So here's your gymnast of like, stick it, right? What I want you to, my ideal tuck or any entry into handstand is it's the same cadence from start to finish.
As my kick-in.
Yeah, like, so her kick was 1, 2, and they moved at the same speed. Not 1, 2, and like slam the other one up, but both legs in the tuck. It's a smooth uncurl and a smooth recurl, okay?
Yeah, near spot on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just try not to kick me in the face, please. Appreciate it. Boom, all the way up. See, that much smoother and controlled, and tuck down when you're ready. And we're gonna talk about why that matters. Stand up, hands off, reset. I've even had some coaches that would have me stand up, turn around, do the next rep, turn around, because you always want to act, like you don't want to be in the habit of just kicking. And I always like to think of like your handstand, like you have a handstand bank account, savings account, if you will. And every good rep that you do, you get to put $1 in that savings account. And then pretty soon you have your $10,000 and you have your handstand. So it's like each rep has a purpose. So I like to do a mental reset by like just taking my hands off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Up and down. Nice, okay. Last one, this is the longest set of 5. I'm chatty Cathy today. Up we go, there we go. We're gonna hold this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of here. All right, so she's super strong, obviously. All right, so let's talk about why moving too quickly into an experience, even like a handstand, will dictate the actual experience itself when you get there. So the example that I like to use is like being late for something. Let's say you've been late to work, or even worse, like missing a flight. Like you realize at 6 a.m. that the front desk didn't call you and wake you up in your hotel at the right time. You're like, oh God. So what happens? You start moving super fast, and you're moving kind of at an out of control, chaotic pace. And then by the time you actually get to the airport and you hopefully make your plane or your flight, it's like this, you're already so worked up because your nervous system was in just super fight or flight mode. Same thing when you're late to work. Start off your day late to work, and then by the time you get there, you kind of have not the greatest day because that was the experience that you led with. So when you move into a handstand, if you move super quick and try to like save it mid-air, you're gonna have a lot of corrections to make. Versus if you take it slow, Put your hands on the ground with purpose, with intention. Kick up and see if you can move at the same cadence every single rep and make it just a replication of the one you did before. Then the experience gets much smoother and easier. If you watch the pro hand balancers, like the circus guys, even their scissor kick to handstand looks like it's gorgeous. It's like poetry. This is perfect every single time. Okay, so that said, we're going to move on to straddle. So straddle might be, for some of you guys at home, sort of the keys to the kingdom here. Straddle for my long-legged folks in the house. This one is one where you get to use the weight of your legs and the inertia upward to carry the hips into place and roll over. I like straddle. I just think it's the prettiest. I mean, if I'm just being super aesthetic about it, it's the prettiest entry, right? Your feet start together. They're going to go all the way out. Now, Jody was kind enough to demo for us kind of the 10 to 20 to 50%. This one is going to be 6 to 3 and 9, all the way up to midnight, 3 and 9, and then back to 6. So your feet always start and stop where, or they always land where they started, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if we could turn this way so that they can see your beautiful straddle, yeah. And then I am gonna get out of the way for set number 1. Okay. You're gonna give me 5, all right, and I'll spot you if you need. Whoa, there's those, I see it. You try to finish too quickly. Come on down, straddle out and down, land feet together. That's 1, stand up, hands off the ground. Cool, 1 rep in the books. So watch the legs go super wide and up. I'm gonna put her in place. Boom. Out and down, okay. 2. Here we go. Up, 3, out and down, please. So I'm spotting her from the side so you guys can see. Normally I'd be like right behind her. 4, all the way up. Boop, boop. Sound effects help. Laser noises, cat noises, whatever you got when you're making your handstands. Pew, pew.
Very, like I'm uneven.
Yeah, because I'm only spotting one leg. All right, let's get full on. I'll spot right here. Here we go. Up. 1, 2, 3, out and down. Awesome. Excellent. So we got one more set. We'll take a little breather here. Let's just address the fact that between what we did for warm-up in the 10 to 20 and what she's doing now, more advanced skills, there are layers, and I mean layers of practice in between that, right? So this video is going to give you a little bit of like how to warm up, and then hopefully you can, again, at home, be your own best coach and work with the different heights at the 10, 20, 50% sort of thing. This is what final product would look like in this nice, clean stack. So I always put things on a spectrum, right? One end of the spectrum is like, let's call it 0. You don't know what you don't know. You don't even know that handstand exists. It's not in your reality. You've never seen it before. At the other end of the spectrum is what I'll refer to as mastery. Circus artists, circus level hand balancers, truly like gifted people. And then in between where that whole thing is where the rest of us exist, that's called practice, right? And that's there's no way around it but through it. People always want the trick to handstand. The trick to handstand, as I said before, reps, reps, reps. People will say like, oh, what's the secret? I'm like, oh, the secret, cool. We can just skip all the hard work then. Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go from the side now so they can see what your legs are doing. And then I'll go full spot. Set of 5, nice and easy. Let's go. Up, I'm gonna pull her in for 3, 2, 1. Straddle out and down. You notice she has the pattern of straight legs going out and then landing right where she started. Let's go. Boom, nice, Jody. 1, 2, 3, boom.
You want me slower, come down? Do you want me to come down slower?
Do you want words? You want me slower, come down today? What do now? Here we go, up, okay. And then, yeah, come on down and I'll slow you down myself. There we go. So if you're spotting, you just grab the hips.
Super every spot.
Yeah, yeah. All right, what is that, 3? We got 2 more?
Yeah.
Awesome. Come on down, please, and thank you. All right, and we're almost done with this little party. Here we go. Up and at 'em for 3, 2, 1, down. Knuckles, explode up. There it is. No, you gotta explode it. Boom, there we go. Let's hit the deck, my friends. Little wrist and shoulder therapy. So, all the way from 0 to 100%. Right hand, please, palmar flexion. We're gonna flip it over, turn the eye of the elbow forward, and just kind of rock to the left and to the right. So 0 to 100, right? When you start, might be the 10% day. Might be just kicking up, just having some fun with it. No matter where you get to though, this practice needs to be fun. I mean, look, it's a handstand. You can't get that serious about it. I say it, switch hands, please. I say it in all my live seminars that I do. I say it in all of my online videos. I'll say it here right now. I got some bad news, and it's this. No one in the real world cares if you can do a handstand. This practice needs to be for you. It needs to be for fun, right? It doesn't make you a better person. What it does do, though, is teach you a lot about how you learn and how you handle stress. Let's come on into inside-out dorsiflexion. Yeah, I remember when I got my first handstand, went into work that morning. They gave me a huge raise, standing ovation. The girl I was interested in hit me up. She's like, hey, I heard about that handstand. The life just got magically better. It doesn't actually work like that, but it is an awesome teaching tool for you guys. And I hope you learned something today about movement, shape, strength, and balance. Come on, sit on up, please. Let's go here and again. And Miss Jody, we're going to take your hands behind your back, interlace them, all 10 fingers to the webbing, draw it down, chest up. Okay, and then lean forward, take your arms up and overhead. I'm gonna give her just a little bit of a spot. Can you make a fist? Yeah, there we go, perfect. So it's a little harder this way, yeah? Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna give her a little love forward. I always do a little bit of a cool down. I don't just like quit handstanding and go home right away. I always like to do at least a little bit of a cool down in my shoulders and my wrists. 3, 2, 1. All right, handstander, I hope you got something out of today's video. As always, keep coming back. Keep coming back to Club Cal Online. Keep coming back to this particular video or any of our other amazing videos in our library. For myself and for Miss Jody, that's it. Easy.